thank you for joining me for another episode of Take 5. This is an opportunity for me to pull the commissioners out of their regularly scheduled programming and to ask a few questions about projects and topics that involve Weld County government. Are we ready?
Yes.
All right.
Ready.
As you know, Weld County has long been and continues to be the top agricultural producing county in the state. Weld County is also the fastest growing county in the state. Still, we have been for years. These two facts lead to some interesting discussions and questions. And Commissioner Ross, I'm going to direct the first question to you. We hear this question a lot on social media and in person. What is Weld County government doing to protect water?
Wow, you're hitting with a big one right out of the gate there, Finch.
We're hard hitting on this little show here.
Hard hitting, I agree. This is a question we get a lot. I get it individually a lot as a commissioner, and I know my fellow commissioners do as well. It's interesting how you pose that. The question started out, what are you doing to protect our water here in Weld County? That it's a collective group of people's water. Quite frankly, we look at water as private property rights. That's what it truly is. Individuals around the county have acquired water on various systems, and they own those water rights. Quite frankly, it's theirs. We try to uphold private property rights any opportunity we get, because that's an asset owned by those individuals. Should they want to utilize it, we allow them to utilize it. Should they want to sell it, we allow them to sell it. We don't get involved in that transaction. It is unfortunate that a lot of that water has gotten sold in the past down to our neighbors in the metro areas to the south of Weld County, but hopefully groups will stand up and look to purchase them up north here for their own municipal uses or whatnot. But those are individual units owned by individual folks, and they get to do with them as they choose.
The other question that often gets paired with the water question, I'm going to ask Commissioner James. We get asked a lot. We got asked a lot at the farm show when Weld County had a booth there. We see it pop up on social media. What is the county doing to preserve agriculture and agricultural land?
You know, it's a similar kind of a question to the one that you just asked about water. Again, that land is a private property. That land belongs to that individual farmer, or rancher, or agriculturalist. It's theirs to do with, quite frankly, as they choose. Now, their land has a zoning that's on top of it. The zoning in this case is usually agricultural. If they wish to change that zoning, they come before the Board of County Commissioners and ask for a different type of zoning. And that goes through a process by which we hear that publicly, and we may or may not grant that change of use, or they may choose to sell that land. But again, that is their private property to do with as they choose. I appreciate the uniqueness that the farm and ranch land is to Weld County. And I appreciate the fact that on many of your surveys, Jennifer, and surveys that we do in our planning department as well, people show that they value that ag land. I do as well. But see, I live on a subdivision lot. I am not a farmer or a rancher. I live on a subdivision lot in Johnstown. Now, that little 18,000 square foot lot that I have in Johnstown is my property that I can choose to sell or do with as I please within the bounds of Johnstown code. It's the same thing that goes with that farm. That is an individual property owned by an individual. It's something that when I sat as mayor and a council member in the town of Johnstown, we saw a lot, is farmers and ranchers would come in and annex and subdivide their property. And some people who might live in a neighborhood next to you will get a little upset about that. Geez, what happened to that farm? I enjoyed that farm. Well, so did I. But it's that farmer who has that right to sell that property, to take it through what they call an entitlement process, to go through a land use process, either in a municipality or in the county, and change it if the zoning change is granted. So again, I appreciate the farm and the ranch heritage of Weld County as much as the next person, but that is that private property owner's right to do with that property as they choose and as the code allows.
I think it's very interesting when that gets explained to people. It's quite eye-opening for them to hear it through that lens, that water and land are private properties. And often when people hear that and understand it, their vision of what their question actually is changes a bit. I don't know if the others have any comments you want to add on to either water or land. I think you guys summed it up perfectly. It's just a different way to look at those two assets. I'm going to switch topics. I'm going to go over to Commissioner Maxey. We're heading into, I think it's the 7th week of the 2026 legislative session. And you guys as a board, you look at bills, dozens of bills weekly. And these are bills that have a direct impact on county government or county residents. We know people are busy in their day-to-day lives with the various activities of kids and school and sports and church and everything else. But what should they be aware of the bills that are being proposed during this session?
Yeah, thank you, Jennifer. 7th week, year 7, I don't know, it all blurs together. These legislative sessions seem to go on forever. But, when you say what should the public be aware of regarding legislative sessions and what the board is doing, the first thing I think that we would want to communicate to the entirety of our residents and our businesses and anybody in Weld County for that matter is that this Board of County Commissioners is working hard on bills that affect Weld County and our way of life. And I'm going to say there's not going to be probably the top 2 things that get us more riled up than number 1, attacks and the erosion of local land use authority. That's going to be something that gets us pretty fired up and say that we need to go down to testify on bills that erode that capability of the County Board of Commissioners for making local land use decisions. We totally feel that the best government is a government closest to home, and the residents elected us to fill that role here. And any sort of state centralization of land use authority is going to get us pretty upset, pretty fired up and wanting to participate. The second thing is going to be anything that deals with unfunded mandates. And when we talk unfunded mandates, that could be a variety of things, whether that's public safety or transportation or human service type items. But this board is very aware of unfunded mandates that are coming down from the state that are hitting us and our pocketbooks and our residents' pocketbooks as well by deferring those services that the state should take care of down to the county level. And so we don't like that either. So we're gonna advocate pretty hard against those type of things that erode local land use or that push unfunded mandates down to the county.
Thank you. And I want to remind people too, you can see the legislative tracker of the bills that the commissioners are monitoring and taking positions on. You can go to weld.gov/go/legislation, and we update that weekly. Thank you very much. As I mentioned, we're in the 7th week of the legislative season. So that means it's already March. I'm not sure how that's possible, but we're in either endless fall or endless spring. I'm not sure what that is, but as we dive into March, Commissioner Pepler, what kinds of things are on your calendar right now or on the board's calendar in March that you're looking forward to?
I'm going to do a little bit of a fun comment with this. I'm going to say the thing on the calendar that I'm most looking forward to coming up, daylight savings time. I thought this would be a good opportunity to educate a little bit about our average week. Most of us typically start at least by 7:30. Twice a week, we have those official board meetings. One of those including land use cases, which takes several hours of preparation. We have about a dozen work sessions each week with our staff to educate us of the many items that are going to appear on the agendas. We may give direction for it to go ahead and move ahead on a topic or to have modifications made after getting input from stakeholders. Sometimes those work sessions are strictly informational. Each of us coordinates assigned departments throughout the county. We meet with our directors and share the weekly updates with each other. This week we had 10 interviews. Was it last week, the week before? They're all blending together. We had only 3, but those took about 7 hours of time. Jason's already mentioned the tremendous amount of time working with legislation. The greater part of the year is spent working with staff on the annual budget. 2026 was a $703 million budget. That's not something you're going to just sit down and do in a few days. That takes months and months and months of preparation. And then we get into our evenings, which are usually filled with committees and boards and coalitions, alliances. Each one of us is on a variety of those, as well as meetings supporting our 32 municipalities and a multitude of community and regional partners. I'm just looking forward to a little daylight on my drive from our daytime meetings to our evening meetings.
Great way to bring it on home, because I'm like, this is not sounding fun at all. I see your calendars and I know how much fun you're having at all these meetings, but I agree. Daylight savings, that is something definitely to look forward to. Let's wrap up on a fun topic. I know the board looks forward to something frequently in your board meetings, and that's the high school championship team recognitions. Commissioner Buck, this week you've had the pleasure of recognizing the achievements of 2 Weld County High School championship teams. This is something that the Weld County Board of Commissioners has done for years, ranging from unified bowling to marching bands to debate teams to every sport. Commissioner Buck, why does the board do this, and why do you think it's important?
Well, thank you so much for the question, Jennifer. And I have to tell you, it is absolutely the highlight of the day to know who we will recognize and who we will do even proclamations. Those are the highlights, though, of being able to celebrate our Weld County High School kids. And truly, there is nothing better when you see these kids come in and hear the challenges they've gone through to get where they were to succeed and bring home the trophy. So it's absolutely my favorite part of the board, part of having the job. I just love to celebrate our high school kids.
Wonderful. I know you guys have a meeting, another fun meeting to get to. So thank you for taking a few minutes and again, pulling back the curtain on county government and what you guys are working on. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jen.